Hurricane Erin is now running away to the east-northeast and heading out into the open waters of the Atlantic, but we still have some coastal issues to deal with. There's a high tide going on right now along the shores of Long Island and New Jersey. Also, we've got a weekend to look forward to, and oftentimes when you have a situation like this, the payoff is that you have a couple of nice days, and I think we're going to have probably three of them. So sit back and relax. It is the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. You can support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. If you shop on Amazon, use our referral link that's pinned to the top of the chat board. It is also on the description of this podcast on YouTube underneath the title. Just search for whatever it is you're going to buy. You buy it. Amazon throws us some coin for sending you there. It doesn't cost you 1 penny out of your own pocket. And we're able to keep the live stream commercial free, which I know everybody likes. So we appreciate very much those of you who have used our referral link on Amazon. And if you need a weather station, why not Tempest by WeatherFlow? It's the revolutionary Tempest weather system. And if you get one, you join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link for this is on the description to this podcast as well. Use the coupon code Summer 2025 because, well, if you do, you get
10% off. Yes.
Yes. So a couple of weird things today. Well, one in particular that kind of struck me was there was a section on the New Jersey shore in Ocean County. Barnegat Light had a peak wind gust to 67 miles an hour. And then there were a few others to the north and to the south that had gusts into the 40s. But everybody else was pretty much in a 20 to 30 mile an hour gust range. On the coast, on the beaches now. I'm just talking about the beaches.
Now, what you noted in Ocean County, I mean, is that one of the automatic or the?
No, it was the light. It was the Barnegat Light, the lighthouse station.
Okay.
The other ones might have been the automatic ones. But there was like a section on the Jersey shore where the winds just, I don't know why that happened. Your guess is as good as mine. But everybody else in the European way overdid, I mean, for the most part, way overdid the wind gusts with this.
Well, that's these machines are not God. They use mathematics and they try to calculate as best as they can certain parameters of a particular weather system or a storm. So, yeah, okay. So the European was on.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is the fact that you were kind of sucked in with low clouds and drizzle and light rain, and that there was a marine layer. And I wonder whether maybe that sometimes you get when that happens, the winds don't mix all the way down. That's the only thing that comes to mind.
Well, you said that I had that condition, and of course, my sister, who is in the Bronx, made the comment just a short while ago to me that, oh, it's terrible here. We had clouds and we had on and off drizzle and everything. But where I happened to be, and I was up in Rhinebeck, New York, in Dutchess County, pretty well north, at least 75 miles north of Midtown Manhattan, where we were.
You broke out.
The morning started off with very, very light sprinkles, almost imperceptible. And then as the morning progressed and on into the afternoon, we saw more and more in the way of the sun. The clouds broke. And by the time we left the Dutchess County Fairgrounds at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon where we happened to be, it was scattered to clear in terms of sky conditions. So I'm sorry for all of the folks who were further to the south from where we were, but we had a lovely afternoon.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the satellite of Erin right now, so we can take a look. That drier air was right to the north, and it did come down. It broke out even in North Jersey. Across Connecticut, Northwest Connecticut. But it's only now that the drier air is really pushing down southward because Erin is running away to the east-northeast. It's already east of 70 West, and it's racing out. but we still have coastal issues that we're going to deal um, with tidal flooding. We have a high tide going on now, and the waves on the shore, the ocean waves are still building up to 12 feet or more. So that's going to be a problem tonight with the high tide, and in some places tomorrow, particularly in southern New Jersey and Atlantic County, for one particular spot to mention, where there could be another round of moderate coastal flooding, maybe even borderline major coastal flooding. But there are a lot of places also where the coastal flooding, like if you look at eastern Suffolk County and eastern Long Island on the South Shore, it's mostly minor flooding that's being forecast there. So this is a big plus if it winds up that the coastal flooding turns out to be a little less than anticipated.
Well, I said a couple of days ago that the times for coastal flooding at the time of local high tide would be most significant, probably with the tides tonight and also the tides tomorrow morning. So, whatever they've seen up to this point in time, tonight and tomorrow morning will likely be the ones that will be tipping the scale, so to speak, in terms of potential beach erosion and tidal flooding. So if it's probably gonna be about as bad as it will ever get with tonight's high tide, maybe tomorrow's too in the morning. But after that, the storm is taking a rapid track away to the north and east. In fact, for folks who have not seen it, Joe, the latest National Hurricane Center plot places the storm system at 2 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, just to the south of Iceland. So it, as I said, this kind of reminded me of Hurricane Faith of 1966, which traversed all the way up into the far northern regions. This one too looks like it's going to go pretty well north after it finishes off its little rendezvous with the Atlantic coastline over the next 24 hours.
Right. The 8 o'clock advisory, which I guess they sent it out early, being that it's not impacting any land. We still have tropical storm warnings up for Bermuda. I'm not sure, what they're getting in terms of wind there, but the actual center of the hurricane, is well to the north of Bermuda, and yes, racing to the northeast now at 20 miles an hour, 36.8 and 68.2 are the plots. Top winds at 100, and it's just going on its merry way. And yes, they have it post-tropical south of Iceland by 2 p.m. Tuesday, like you said. And these things do happen. But the upside, just going back to the U.S. satellite loop here, the upside is that we've got dry air in eastern Canada, and those lower dew points are making their way southward. So it should make for relatively comfortable conditions tomorrow and Saturday. And while the dew point comes up some on Sunday, maybe back into the 60s, it's not like it's going to 70.
Yeah, there's one thing that annoyed me tonight in watching some of the news coverage of Erin. There was one particular newscast. It was on CBS where they were at Jones Beach covering the potential for flooding and possible erosion or whatever. And I don't remember who the reporter was, but he said it's hard to believe that this storm is well away from us, 200 miles away. And I did like a shaking of my head. I said, "Excuse me."
Why was it hard to believe that it was?
Well, first of all, it was not 200 miles. In fact, I took the 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time
Yeah,
observation, latitude and longitude, and came up with 408.5 statute miles.
that's
Why?
probably as bad. Maybe it got to at some point. Maybe it got to just under 400 miles,
Yeah, but four. Yeah, okay, if it's
but
let's
not
say
200. No, not
no.
200.
I don't know why they make these numbers up. I mean, they look at the map, they eyeball it, and they say, "Well, how far is that, John?" It looks like well, at least a couple of hundred miles. Good, we'll say 200 miles. If you're going to be accurate, please
Be
be accurate.
accurate.
Yeah,
It's a novel It's a novel concept.
yeah. In
It's
fact,
like those.
what I'm going to do, Joe, and this is a service, and this is a great website. Um, if you plug in the latitude and longitude of one place and the latitude and longitude of another place,
Right, it
based
gives you the
upon
distance.
It'll give you the distance in kilometers and nautical miles, statute miles. I have used this site for years. It is a great website. I don't know how many people are aware of it or know of it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to email that to you to your email address. When you get it, open it up, and then you can put it on the chat board,
Okay.
and people can
Yeah,
see
I
for
bet you if
themselves.
you just Google latitude, longitude, distance calculator, you'll probably get it that way too. But yeah, send me the link and I'll post it up. Yeah, it's just a very easy thing to do to get things right. And the other thing you just reminded me too was the fact that you had the social media goons pile on. I don't know what model they were looking at specifically, but the wave heights forecast to be 100 feet, 100 feet, 8 stories, 8 stories high. I mean, what is this? What was the movie where all the water came rush? I didn't see it, but it was like a big, massive flood. A giant tidal wave coming in from off the ocean. But they were all running
Oh,
around
deep,
saying
deep impact.
maybe that's okay, deep impact. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, posts all over the place. The stupidity of 100-foot waves. I mean, come on, really? Seriously, this is the problem, Mr. Rayo. This is the problem because. Um, we keep losing ground uh, in a sense. We keep losing ground because the vast majority of people are getting their news and weather on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That is a
Yeah.
fact.
Okay. Well, if they got the 200-mile distance of Erin, they were wrong. So that's all I can say. And I just sent that email to you. So
Okay.
um,
All right. Great.
the
Um,
funny part about the movie Deep Impact, one of our reporters at News 12 when it came out, it shows this gigantic tidal wave that is demolishing the Brooklyn Bridge in Lower Manhattan, and this one of the reporters at News 12 after he saw that said, "Well, that wouldn't have bothered me. I don't. I live north of Uptown."
well, that's not. Isn't that special?
Isn't that
Uh,
special?
okay, I'm putting it up now. Calculator. Link. There you go, everybody. It's on the chat board for those of you who want to have that handy. It's there for the taking. By the way, welcome tonight to everybody on the chat board and those of you who are watching in the background on this Thursday Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. We're not going to be here tomorrow or Saturday because we hardly ever are unless there's a big storm around. But we'll be back Sunday night at 7:35 p.m. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn your notifications on so you don't miss us. And of course, if you like the show, bang on the like button. So now, of course, with all of this going away, we can look forward to what will be, I think, a pretty nice 3-day stretch for areas in the Northeast and in the Mid-Atlantic states.
Well, I tell you, for those of you who were like me and had the opportunity to enjoy today with sunshine, it was glorious. And now I'm going to make the assumption that this same condition is going to cover much of the rest of the tri state area come tomorrow and Saturday. So, get out and enjoy if you have the day off tomorrow.
All right, so there's Erin going out to the east, and the counterclockwise motion of the air is pulling down drier air from New England, slowly but surely making its way southward. And we've got another weather front here that is back up in the northern plains, and that is going to be the next weather maker. But probably what's more important is the air behind it. There is a nice, sizable, cool, dry air mass, and that is going to come in on Tuesday, or start to come in on Tuesday, and last probably for much of next week. Monday will be the transition day when this front approaches and moves through. I left out any mention of daytime shower chances for Sunday. I think the front is going to slow down enough that it'll probably be more like Monday, where there might be some scattered showers or maybe a thunderstorm when it goes by.
Well, that'd be great to have the final. No, it's not. It's not the final weekend of August. That comes up next weekend. Believe it or not, next weekend,
It's the Labor
August
Day holiday weekend. It's
Au-
over.
August 30th, 31st, and first day of September is on a Monday this year, which is Labor Day. Labor Day this year about as early, well, not about it. It is as
It
early
is
as it
as
can
early as it
be.
can get. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there you go. We've got some showers and storms going on here in Georgia. Just like it's been here the last couple of days. They're all around me, and then every once in a while, one of them noses in for a short period of time. They seem to be a bit more concentrated today, a little further south. We also have some storms along the Gulf Coast and back to Louisiana. I see some lightning strikes along the Texas coast, and some showers and storms that are actually moving from north to south in New Mexico and Arizona around the base of the ridge there, and we've got some couple of storms running up in the northern plains, moving out of the Dakotas and into Minnesota. And the radar, we will check that out. You can see it on the radar. There's nothing in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic states. A couple of showers in Western Virginia, and then you get down the Appalachians into North Georgia. You can see there's some showers and thunderstorms. They're mostly to my they're just to my east and just to my south. And there's a little bit of a bowed line down in southern Georgia, and not too far from Savannah. One flash flood warning up there, one severe thunderstorm warning in southwest Georgia, a couple of patchy storms in Florida, and then we've got some stuff, as I said, going out of the Dakotas and on up into Minnesota. The Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk for severe weather in that area from northeast South Dakota up through Minnesota. It's a very narrow area. We don't have any severe thunderstorm watches up tomorrow. The risk is confined to areas from eastern Wyoming and Colorado across Nebraska, and then northeast through western Iowa, central, southern, and eastern Minnesota, the northern half of Wisconsin to the upper peninsula of Michigan. Nothing from Maine to North Carolina. That's actually good news for southeast Virginia and eastern North Carolina, because over the last couple of weeks, they've gotten an awful lot of rain. So they're going to catch a break. But still a chance that there could be some scattered showers and storms across the southern Appalachians and the deep south and down along the Gulf Coast. No severe weather is forecast for Sunday. And as far as rainfall is concerned, not a whole heck of a lot. Even if we wind up getting a couple of scattered showers or storms coming through on Monday with a weather front, a little bit more in central, a small area in central PA from anywhere from a quarter to three quarters of an inch, and a half to three quarters in upstate New York and northern New England. But along the coastal plain from Maine to North Carolina, we're looking at mostly a tenth of an inch or less. The rains pick up a bit in southeast Georgia and along the east coast of Florida. We're also seeing heavy rain being indicated of several inches or more from Colorado's been getting a lot of thunderstorms and a lot of rain this summer. That's huge. That they get most of their water from snow melt, but they're really doing it this year with rain. Uh, e- uh, Several to many inches being forecast for the eastern half of Colorado and northeast New Mexico into southern Kansas and over into northwest Texas and into Oklahoma, and also in the areas that get the monsoonal action in the southwest. We're looking at areas of an inch and a half or more up through Arizona, and an inch and a half of rain when it comes all at once in Arizona in the desert. You know,
That'll flood.
it's like
Yeah, that
10 inches
floods.
here
Yeah, yeah.
because
They just
because that
no. I agree with you. They don't usually see that much rain in one sitting. So you're right. It's kind of like a disastrous. It's kind of like when Governor Murphy in New Jersey puts out an emergency statement or whatever.
yes. All right, so let's look at the upper air pattern going forward because we can. And we'll use, let's go to the A. We've been using the European a lot lately, so we'll use the GFS tonight and take a look at what's happening. Um, there seems to be a, a tendency, I guess probably is a good word, for troughs in the east. We actually have some blockiness going on in the North Atlantic, but troughs are dropping down out of Canada, and this one for next week. This is on Sunday. You got a really wrapped up upper low south of James Bay. This is a pretty impressive trough for this time of year. And it's also, by the way, if we do get a new tropical storm that forms out in the Atlantic, it's going to get caught by this. I don't see how it can't get caught and recurve probably along or east of 65. So that might get close to Bermuda and then run its way up toward Newfoundland or even just, toward Newfoundland and beyond. But a lot of troughing in the eastern part of the United States next week. In fact, when the first one kind of part of it pulls out and then another arm comes down for late next week. So this is a signature for some very cool air. My one question is, as we saw in the summertime, every time we got into some kind of northwest flow out of Canada, we had to deal with wildfire smoke. I wonder if that's going to be the case now, because if it is, it's a real shame. Because you go into September, late August to September, you get these air masses that come down from Canada. They're supposed to be blue sky and crystal clear, and smell the Canadian pines type of air. Instead, you're smelling, basically
Well, you're smelling the pines,
campfire out
except the pines. You're smelling the pines, but unfortunately, you're smelling burnt
burnt
pine.
pines.
Yeah.
And here's the flow. I mean, it's not often you see a trough going all the way down to the Gulf Coast in at the end of August. Not unheard of. It does happen from time to time, but again, it doesn't happen very often. Mostly ridging out in the western states, which is allowing this sort of flow to develop, and then the trough lifts out. Now we're into Labor Day, and looks kind of warmish. Not crazy warm though. Nothing hot, I don't think. And then the long range is trying to make something, in the Caribbean that goes into the Gulf of Mexico, which, if you know the GFS, likely means that it's probably somewhere near the Leeward Islands or out at 55 or 60. So uh, we don't care with regards to that. The European, interestingly enough, has more troughing in the east in the longer range. Has the same idea for this week. I'll just back it up. But here comes that big upper low for next week. Really strong northwest flow out of Canada gets reinforced at the end of the week and into the Labor Day holiday weekend. Something on the European gets left behind. There's an upper low there in southern Ohio. So some of the bottom of that trough getting left behind. We'll see if that has any kind of implications for the Labor Day holiday weekend. And then another system coming through after Labor Day reinforces the troughing in the east, and yet there's another upper low that's dropping out of northwest Canada, heading toward the Great Lakes. So we've been mostly used to the last 10 years or so, where ridges all of a sudden start building in the eastern United States during the month of September, and we wind up with extended summer weather. This does not look to be that the case this year, at least right now.
Well, I'm looking at, yeah, some of you may have your own websites that you consult concerning the smoke from these Canadian forest fires. I'm using one called
You want to show it?
firesmoke.ca.
You want to show it?
Yeah, if we could show it here.
Yeah, hang on a second. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let me just get it up here. And you can see for yourself. This is a website. Again, it's called firesmoke.ca, CA for Canada /forecast/current. And if I put it in motion here, now, first off, the one thing that I notice when we begin this, and you can see the motion here starting from right now, just a couple of weeks ago, Joe, there were a ton of fires going on up here in the vicinity of Great Slave Lake in northern western Canada. There are far fewer fires going on now. And as you can see, here in the central part of Canada, the eastern part of Canada, and yeah, there's a couple of stray, regions here that show some smoke. But basically, it's all free and clear. At least now this goes out to this coming Saturday. I would suspect that the fact that we're not seeing anywhere near the number of, I think it was like something like in the hundreds 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now you can see is 5 and 4 and 10. So there's far fewer fires going on up here now. And with that northwesterly flow blowing, it doesn't seem like it's going to be blowing all that much in the way of smoke down toward the northeastern part of the United States. Again, there are some patches you see, flaring up here and there, but they don't last very long. So it seems that you want to believe this particular website. And let me just zoom in here in the northeastern part of the country. Here is New York City. And you can see that again, there's some indications of some smoke that is blowing down actually from the north and northeast. But it doesn't appear that it's going to be, too terrible. It's here and then it's gone. So I would think that we can take advantage of that northwesterly flow and enjoy some decent skies, blue skies for at least the coming days ahead.
All right. Well, that's good to know. And the surface, I'm going to switch back here and just go through the European surface map. And it's going to be a short show tonight, folks, because I'm very tired today. So anyway, and there's not much going on now that Erin's gone. So we know that the weekend is fine, no issues. You can see the weather front is approaching. There's not even a whole lot of shower and thunderstorm activity with it. It kind of fires up Sunday morning in inland areas in Pennsylvania, and then it weakens. So anything that happens on Sunday will probably be in the Appalachians and up in central and western PA and upstate New York, but nothing major in that northern area. And then again, waiting for that trough to kind of swing through. One of the complicating factors is that if we get a new tropical storm that forms out in the Atlantic, which is possible, the Hurricane Center is highlighting this area east of the northern Leeward Islands and indicating now an 80%, a 60% chance this could develop in the next 2 days, and an 80% chance that it could develop in the next seven. If it's going to develop, it'll develop this weekend, and you can see the curving of the area they're highlighting. So that's the idea. The idea is that this thing is probably going to recurve east of 70 and maybe closer to 65 than to 70 and get close to Bermuda. But if one does form out there, that's going to slow this front down. And I think that's what the models are picking up on to some extent. So it finally does get through here on Monday. And once that happens, we get into this cool air mass. You got a nice high there in Iowa. You've got cooler air that gets actually the cool dry air makes it pretty far south into the deep south to me. I am really looking forward to having a stretch of days where my lows are in the low to mid 50s, and that's going to come next week. And I don't know if you know this, Joe, but in the deep south in the summertime, when the first front of the season comes through, there is celebration and dancing in the streets.
Yep, I would agree.
Yeah.
You
And
know, you're so used to the humidity, especially of summer, and now here it is. And this actually is a preview, folks, of what is to come in the coming weeks and months to come. Uh, there usually is in the middle and latter part of August, when we're now 2 months past the summer solstice, the first round or the first wave of cool air from Canada that just builds on down and in and gives you a preview of what is coming our way as we move into September and October. So take advantage of it and enjoy it.
JJ's still on the bed 2 nights in a row. I don't know if you can see it, but he brought his baby onto the bed. It's got a be from Tough Squirrel. He has a beaver or a raccoon. I don't know. You could pass for either one.
my
Sometimes he
dog,
sometimes he takes it to bed with him.
my dog's new toy is lamb chop.
Oh, is it?
Remember Sherry Lewis?
Yes,
And so,
exactly.
and it looks very much like lamb chop, but he's attached. He's taken a keen eye to lamb chop and takes lamb chop into his little bed, and I don't know what he does with it, but Sherry would not probably be
It's
pleased.
comfort. It's
Yeah.
comfort.
Yep.
So any plan? We're gonna skip Burler Jeopardy tonight, and we'll do it on Sunday because I said a little while ago I'm just a little bit tired tonight, so I want to kind of go to bed early with the storm around this week. It made for a lot of extra work on my part, and it's time for me to just kind of take a break. Do you have plans for the weekend?
Recovering from today, we were at as I mentioned, the Dutchess County Fair, and I couldn't have dinner, Joe. I wasn't hungry. Of course, at the fair today, I had not one but two of the legendary thick shakes that they serve. I mean, 1964-65 World's Fair was famous not so much for the exhibits, but for the Belgian waffles they served. And if you go to the Dutchess County Fair, you must have a Dutchess County thick shake. In fact, when we were leaving along about 4 o'clock, there was a line that stretched from the thick shake stand all the way back to Poughkeepsie. Anyway, I had not one but two thick shakes today, one chocolate, one vanilla. Then I had one of those pieces of corn on a stick that was coated in butter. I
Oh,
love I love that.
nice.
A cheeseburger, a big cheeseburger. I also had any number of samples of different types of pickles. In fact, I was able to buy three big jars of different types of pickles: dill pickles, sour pickles, garlic pickles. I love that, and
Nice.
and so you can understand that by the time I got home, I was in no mood to eat. I still am not in any mood to eat.
Sure.
Oh,
Well, I know in the Iowa State Fair they have one of the specialties that they sell food wise is deep fried butter, and I actually tried to make it once. Uh, it's Pillsbury crescent roll dough, and you freeze the butter and you cut it into cubes, and then you roll it in the Pillsbury dough, and you deep fry it very quickly for like 1 or 2 minutes at most. And if you're using good butter, like Irish butter, oh God, I know everybody's going to say how it'll clog your arteries and everywhere and everything else. It's a good way to die. It's a it really is it really is
you
delicious.
you would have found this interesting. Speaking of butter, there was, and in fact, the butter that was being used was Land O'Lakes
Hmm.
butter. Two people actually carved out of, I guess, a tremendous block of Land O'Lakes butter, a near life-size uh, person on a tractor mower. Imagine, if you will,
Oh, really?
a
That's so
tractor
cool.
mower, a tractor mower, a person sitting on the tractor mower, all carved. I should have taken a picture of this. All carved out of this giant block of butter.
No, that's actually quite cool. Northern Grace corn dogs are the best. I love those. And then corn on the cob with butter on it. Yeah, also, um, very much a big deal. And Maggie P, yes, only eat the grass-fed, the Costco Kirkland grass-fed butter is actually quite good. I bought some the last time I was there because I hadn't been to Costco in a while, so I didn't even know they had this. Because I usually get Kerry butter and anyway, so I decided to try the Costco grass-fed butter. It was good. It was very good, especially when cooking.
Well,
So,
the Dutchess County Fair is a fairly large county fair, but if you want to see a humongous fair, go to the New York State Fair in Syracuse, which I believe starts next week. And
mhm.
as I mentioned to somebody, I said, just imagine the Dutchess County Fair on steroids. That's the New York State Fair in
Yes,
Syracuse. Humongous, tremendous fair that goes on in upstate New York. And but any of these fairs are wonderful, especially if you have the weather cooperate with you, as was the case, at least for us today in Dutchess County.
Renata says you brought home some kettle corn too.
Oh yeah, well we bought the medium bag. My son bought the big bag. The big bag cost $11 and is about yay big.
Oh,
You could probably use it for a pillow on your bed if you don't
oh
want to open
God.
the bag. So
Amazing how expensive all that stuff is too. Oh
and
well.
my, and my grandson got his first, because they're very picky. My son and daughter-in-law as to what my grandson eats and drinks. But today he got his first taste of a chocolate thick shake, and the eyes, Joe, went like
Oh
boing.
yeah. Oh sure. It's great stuff. It's
So
great
there
stuff.
you
I haven't
go.
had a shake in a long, long time. One of these days, I may just treat myself. Okay. Anyway, so we'll be back on Sunday, everybody, at 7:35. So at this stage, it's time for me to advise you to have a very good rest of your Thursday night, a great Friday, a great Saturday, and a great Sunday, and we'll see you here Sunday night at 7:35.
Everybody, you have a good and safe weekend. Enjoy the weather that we're going to have this weekend, and we'll be back, as Joe said, 7:35 with Briller Jeopardy on
Yep.
Sunday.
All right. Night, everybody.